when you just move to the country, I would say, you have to start paying your taxes. So how is the process of the taxes? When you have to pay the taxes? Who you have to pay the taxes? How you can fold the forms?
Usually you have to wait until your employer gives you your W-2 form or a W-4 form. And that's how many taxes that your employer takes out of your payment to pay the government per check per year. You set that up when you first start your job. Like they'll ask you how much taxes do you want withheld.
What is the difference?
Well, like it depends on like how many dependents that you have in your family. Some people in the real world, you're supposed to like figure out the amount where the government will take from your check the amount that they need, and you have the maximum amount that you have to spend every month out of your check. The problem is if you don't guess that number correctly, then at the end of the year you'll owe them money, and that most people live paycheck to paycheck, so it's like really hard to like come up with like extra money that you don't have at the end of the year.
What would you suggest to do in
Well,
that case?
I mean,
okay, so how did you do that?
what I did was I just had them take the maximum, which it sucks, but at the end of the year you get a lump sum money, which actually helps when you're struggling, right? So it's like the reverse. At the end of the year you get a nice big fat check that can help you. It's much easier to throw a large sum of money in the bank. When you get it like incrementally through the month, you end up spending it on garbage stuff like drinks or whatever. For me, it was always easier to have a larger sum of money at the end of the year that I could then put in the bank, and it actually puts a dent in something that you need, because it's really hard to save money.
Why can't you figure out how much?
Because it's not straightforward. The government, all the tax forms, I'm sorry to say this, are like absolutely confusing. And the person that's helping you fill out the tax form can't help you fill it out, because then they're liable if they screw up. So it's kind of like either you do your homework ahead of time, or you play this Russian roulette game. So from my point of view, having gotten burned a couple of times, I just have them take out the maximum. I don't claim any dependents. I just have them pull it all out, and then at the end of the year I like try to get the money back in a lump sum. So I mean, it's up to you if you want to try to do that. There's a little mathematical equation that they have on the form. I just didn't want to go back and forth with that. And
is there somebody who can actually help you to figure out that?
No, you have to figure it out yourself. I mean, you could talk to somebody who does taxes, who maybe is a friend of yours that could help you like kind of try to figure it out. Other people who are better inclined in math can try to help you out with that, but again, you're going to pay the price if they screw up, because you're the one who it's coming out of your paycheck, and you're the one who has to pay it.
Why is it not so straightforward in America?
Because everybody wants your money.
But in Russia, if you pay taxes, you pay 13% or 6%.
That's great. It's not like that in America. In America, it's like you get taxed to death coming and going. So when you go to the store, they ask for tax. At the end of the year, the government wants their hand in your check. Like the banks, they're trying to pull money out of your account. It's just a big mess. You have to be really smart with your money. Like even your bank account, the more money you have in your account, the less they take out. It's just really weird. The least amount of money that you have, the more they're trying to take money from you.
So it's vice versa, actually. If you're poor, they want to take more money from you?
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of stipulations to like hold your money, because you're a credit risk. Usually people with a lot of money, they just leave their money in there and they let it sit. And so the bank knows that they can rely on that money to divvy it out. They get like 10 times the amount of the money that you put in there. So if you put in $1,000, they can lend out $10,000, right? Now the reason why they don't want to piss off the rich people is because rich people have no problem taking their money and putting it somewhere else. So they want them to keep their money there. So they try not to like mess with them too much, right? A person who's poor, living paycheck to paycheck, they don't give a crap if you're in there or if you're not. And it's a really crappy thing for people who are struggling.